Schultz products for a better garden.
It's hard to get kids to brush like they should, but not with Aquafresh Flexosaurus. Flexosaurus makes brushing lots of fun. And he's specially designed to gently clean even back teeth. Aquafresh Flexosaurus. He makes brushing fun.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider.
Every job has its pressures. Ours just happened to be barometric. Weather Center AM, this morning and every morning.
Why is Buy Right the right way to buy furniture? Buy Right has an unlimited selection of brand names and fabrics. At Buy Right, there are no credit hassles. Buy Right offers 90 days same as cash or 6 months same as cash. And low monthly payments. These are just a few of the many reasons Buy Right is the right way to buy furniture. You'll find even more when you visit Buy Right Furniture Galleries on Preston Highway and Dixie Highway. Call 933-SAVE.
You know, racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit, and for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet? S&S Tire, the tire store you can trust.
Now your local forecast on the Weather Channel. Coming up, get the forecast for the next 7 days in your weekly planner.
And tonight, we have a lovely caramelized meringue with braised greens, vinegar gooseberry gastric, shredded arugula, and white truffled curried creme, pan-seared with smoked chanterelle, truly succulent basil peach chutney potato chutney. Excellent choice, sir.
You want anything on that?
No.
See, life doesn't have to be so complicated. A simple reminder from Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Simple is good.
Let's move things around for this week as far as the wet weather goes and kind of bring about some pretty showery stuff and potentially stormy situations too. West Coast, well, the thing that's going to be moving a lot of our weather around is going to be the big stable ridge. That big spin that created by this thing. This thing moves. We're keeping the air moving in a clockwise manner. That would spin things up that way. That means high pressure, the ridge of protection. Problem is there's a ridge but a corresponding trough right there that keeps things rather stormy. These strong winds aloft will help to enhance the potential severity we could see during our day around Dallas. We can deal with that. We'll look at that coming up in moments in Weather Center. We'll look at the specifics on how this is affecting central parts of Texas and on into around the Big D, and many parts of Texas could be affected tomorrow. Here's how things are spinning up. A little bit of a protection across the southeast for now. Pretty interesting pattern with the jet. As this thing develops, we're going to start to see a pretty showery situation. Big problems could be kicking across the country, and we could be keeping things pretty wet. And a pretty stormy pattern is about the best way to put it. That's the easiest way to explain what's happening. As we look at the precipitation, you'll see how that is moving things around. Wet weather towards Chicago, you bet. Around Downers Grove, it's showery. Rain, too, for Sunday around Detroit. Now, we may start off with more rain. Might actually see the rain kind of ending by the afternoon, which is pretty good news around Motor City. A little rain could be seen around Cleveland, around Parma, out around Lake Erie. If you're there, you got the rain to mess with. Pittsburgh, even on toward Philly. Looking around Philly, you may have to encounter some wet weather. Out looking for the perfect pretzel. You may endure some showers. On toward Boston, around Chelsea, even out toward the Cape. It's going to be a pretty wet day Sunday. It's been not the best, kind of a soggy situation, but it's going to be there. Storms firing up into Texas. Again, the Big D, we're not out of the woods as far as a severe risk goes. Four Corners can see a bit of snow. Unfortunately, the pattern is not real aggressive at kicking things out of the way. That's why we are still stuck with a severe threat on Monday. More wet weather in the Four Corners, and still some lingering scattered showers. Not only soaking rains, but scattered showers in the northeast. Going back to work Monday around the city, around Boston. Scattered sprinkles, not a total washout, literally. As we get into Tuesday, still storm potential. Still Texas, even around Houston, around Port Neches, Galveston area too, even on toward New Orleans, not taking it too easy on the Big Easy with storm chances into Mississippi. Around Starkville, for example, a little bit wet throughout Georgia, around Atlanta, around Jonesboro, even on toward Savannah. Looks like it could be dealing with wet weather. Even on toward Norfolk, we'll at least see some clouds and a shower chance as well. Wednesday, no major change. Still very progressively slow moving pattern. I guess I'm trying to slow progress, if you can even call it progressive. Storming is still into the parts of the deep south. Memphis could be stormy again. Now St. Louis, even around Belleville, could be seeing some big rumbles around the arch. Still wet in Chicago. Potentially stormy toward Indianapolis by Thursday. Detroit, more wet weather. Another system could affect us to give us some showers around Minneapolis. Wet weather on the west coast, a bit, at least on toward Friday. Trends look like around San Francisco, around the Golden Gate Rec area, for example, on Fisherman's Wharf, a little bit wet. So if you're outside, you need to bear that in mind. It could be a soggy situation. Friday, just to wrap up a work week, maybe rain in the northeast again. New York City, it's what we need right on a Friday, going home. More rain. It could happen toward D.C., Norfolk, even into Florida, around Miami, around Coral Gables toward Lauderdale. We will look at Lauderdale in a moment with a record low temperature overnight. We'll talk about that coming up in Weather Center. Even on towards Saturday, still pretty wet on both the west and the east coast, but milder in the middle. Well, temperatures will start to cool off, but remember that real complicated looking pattern. That's kind of what's happening here with a little cool air kind of corralled here. A few clouds holding on. Warmth pumped up in the west. Still there as long as the ridge holds. A little cooler air settling across, portions of the southeast for a few days. Overnight low temperatures. Again, here comes the front to kind of bring about a bit of a change, but remember how slow it was moving? That slow progression is not going to change temps drastically on Thursday. We'll warm things back up around St. Louis and Chicago, too. Another look at Sunday now as we look at our weekend. All that warmth across the west coast is nice. L.A., around the La Brea Tire Pits, or Santa Monica up here, wherever, looks phenomenally nice. Could be stormy into Texas, and some wet weather still hanging on for Philly. Around New York City, have errands to run. It could be a soggy run, even for Boston, Hartford, and Providence as well. Wind, well, we could be kind of looking at some pretty windy scenarios here with some of the storminess in the middle of the country. Winds around, pretty strong conditions. There are 15 to 25 mile an hour coastal winds around Lake Erie. Water temp around 50 degrees presently. Into South Florida, water temp around 76, and some wind to contend with 2 on toward New Orleans. About 61 with the water temp around San Diego. Here's a look at where we have the potential for severe weather tonight. We'll look at this action plus all the wet weather next in Weather Center.
A soggy start to the day in parts of the Midwest. Find out where the storm is now and where it's headed next. Coming up on Weather Center after your local forecast.
We all have routines. Mine is going non-stop all day long. That goes double for my contact lenses. So when I heard that OptiFree Super Cleanse Daily Protein Remover could keep my lenses like new longer, I had to try it.
Try OptiFree Super Cleanse, the first ever daily protein remover for all types of contacts.
It works while I sleep.
It's easy. Just one drop in your lens case overnight with OptiFree Express Multi-Purpose Solution, and the protein that accumulates during the day is virtually gone by morning.
I was skeptical at first, but after just a few days, I could feel a real difference. Day in, day out, I can rely on my contacts.
Fact is, 4 out of 5 people said they'd use it every day.
It even works on his disposables.
Get maximum comfort and life out of your contact lenses. It's guaranteed or your money back. Call now. Get the Believer Bonus Pack from OptiFree. Up to a $40 value free. It includes a free offer for fresh look contact lenses.
I wish I could last as long as my contacts.
OptiFree Super Cleanse. Try it. Feel it. Believe it.
I'm king of the lawn, lord of all I survey. Look at the king's lawn.
Hey, King, how about getting to those gutters?
Greenview's two-way green power kills weeds and fertilizes for a lawn you'll be darn proud of.
Mine. All mine.
Hey.
When rollerblade demands hypersonic speed, when they require fanatical performance, when they crave unfathomable feats, they get it on a Dell computer. In fact, Rollerblade uses Dell computers every day. What can we build yours to do? Call and for just $23.99, we'll build you this Dell Dimension XPS with the new 400 MHz Intel Pentium 2 processor, 64 megs of 100 MHz SD RAM, a 6.4 gig hard drive, Microsoft Home Essentials 98, a large screen monitor, 3-year limited warranty, plus 1 year next business day on-site service and toll-free 24-hour hardware tech support. The Dell Dimension XPS with the new 400 MHz Intel Pentium 2 processor. Pure performance, just $23.99. Dell, what can we build yours to do?
Looking for something exciting on TV tonight? Something with power, with passion.
Weather is passionate, if you think about it.
Insight, drama.
There's a mystery and awe to it all.
Something that tells you about the whys and wonders.
All this atmospheric energy.
The big stories.
It's exciting to watch.
And what it all means to you.
You can't help but just say, wow.
Drama, passion, suspense, tropospheric undulations. Every night on Weather Center PM.
In the next half hour, Weather Center PM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center PM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Today brought an end to the sunshine across the central regions of the country as some rain and thunderstorms have moved through. Hello, welcome to Weather Center. I'm Paul Emick. This Weather Center being sponsored by Walmart.
And I'm Kim Perez. In the southeast, you enjoyed a beautiful spring day after another night of record-breaking lows in Florida. It was a cold night last night. We'll have the complete forecast and find out if we'll still have some record lows tomorrow. But first, let's go to the central region where the threat of severe weather remains. Well, first, your weekend got off to a soggy start in St. Louis. The early morning rain showers were short-lived, though, and you got to enjoy a beautiful afternoon with temperatures warming all the way up into the upper 70s. Well, out there tonight, St. Louis, you look pretty good, but it's just off to your west. Your neighbors are seeing some severe weather here, and some of it has already been produced. Well, some ping pong ball size hail has been produced here from some of these thunderstorms out there tonight. You could see very evident here where the thunderstorms are, where they have blown up this evening, and some showers northward. But the severe threat right in this area tonight, what happened was we actually had an outflow boundary, and that's just the rain cooled air after Oh, after you have a shower or a thunderstorm roll through, all the cold air that comes down from the thunderstorm, that moves out and actually forms like a front, a mini cold front. And that has moved eastward from this area right here. So it moved east, then we have our warm front right in this area, and the two interacted. And that was a lot of lift, and dew points are pooling in the 60s in this area. We have had thunderstorms just pop up early this evening. You could see it here on lightning data right here along our front, and in this line, the rest of the outflow boundary moving through Missouri at this time. Now, we do have several watches out there tonight. A tornado watch. Conditions are right. 4 tornadoes here. We have enough shear in the atmosphere. That just means the winds at the surface are from the southeast and the upper levels from the west. That is veering with height, and when you have that kind of a sounding, you look for the possibility of tornadoes out there. You need that spin up there. And then severe thunderstorm watches here in the yellow. Now here it is, an overall picture. You can see where our lines of storms are. And actually Des Moines looking a little bit better now. Most of the storms are off to your east. And it looks like folks in Cedar Rapids should be looking at as this storm moves eastward. And right here along our front, where we've seen reports already of hail plus heavy rainfall, 2 to 3 inches in Monona County. Right now, Greene County, Webster County, you are under severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. Watch out for large hail. And again, that potential for tornadoes in the area. Southeast of Kansas City, here's a line that's really fired up. We'll be watching this one. No severe weather being reported yet with this line of storms, but watch out for gusty winds and also for large hail here. Here's a scenario. Our surface front, there's our warm front. It's along the warm front ahead of our cold front, and then along our dry line that's separating the very moist air from the drier air. It's all these areas coming together, plus winds out of the south of about 20 to 30 miles per hour, and southeast you get around that front too. Plus we have some drier air coming in to the back side of this. On our water vapor, you could see that. So put that all together. Here's the threat for severe weather tonight, and we'll keep you posted if any additional watches are issued. Now for a look at the east, let's talk to Paul.
Well, the southeast was a place to be today for a perfect spring day. Further north, though, you may have needed a jacket to cope with some of the chilly conditions. Saw a few sprinkles around midday for Boston, but for the most part, just a cool, breezy day. But you need a jacket, though, especially if you're out there tonight. You'll need one before too much longer. Temps barely made it into the upper 50s, but the winds at times were gusting around 30 miles an hour. Pretty windy day. Did set up there around Beantown. As you look at the poor parts of the east, we can see we're dealing with a pretty decent night behind the cold front. I guess the cooling front could best be described as a leading edge of a cooler air mass. That's what it is, and that's what it did. Ushered in some cooler air and windy conditions behind it. As you move toward that low pressure, winds blow high to low. You see those lines there called isobars. They're lines that have equal pressure. So if you're in, like, say, upstate New York and you drive southward to parts of Connecticut and have a barometer with you, it's going to read the same along that line. But as you go from line to line, it drops off 4 millibars. The closer those lines are together, the pressure falls off faster, the winds blow stronger. Bottom line, kind of a windy situation in the northeast. 52 to Boston tonight. May feel a bit cooler with the air blowing like that, though. Around the city, 60, maybe on the lower east side for the night. Around Baltimore, around D.C., around Georgetown, temps middle 60s look pretty good. 55 around Royal Oak, but the problem is around Detroit, we got a little wet weather popping up. You can see from the radar vantage point, the front is kind of acting as a focusing mechanism for showers to move on by Cincinnati on toward Bethel, Indianapolis. Maybe you're heading toward Broad Ripple. Get a little bit of wet here shortly. A little wet weather around Belleville presently. On toward Cleveland, Akron, it's wet. Even Detroit. Around Columbus and Worthington, we have showers of our own to contend with. 57 toward Chicago, 47 toward Green Bay. Southeast, thanks to high pressure, beautiful day for Atlanta, Georgia. If you were there, you had a chance to get out and take care of a great cause with participating in the annual March of Dimes Walk America. Plenty of sunshine and temps in the 70s. Forecast calling for a nice day, but it looks like a wet week is on the way after we kick on past tomorrow. You're going to see a little change in the weather toward Atlanta. Things are pretty quiet with some pretty clear skies, temps about 65, and even some cool readings into Florida, around 69 around Orlando International Boulevard, but overnight low temperatures, they were pretty cool. Let's look toward the west now with Kim.
And as we look to the west, we find showers and even some snow in the Rockies. But along the west coast, it was another gorgeous day. High pressure and control over the area. Good news, finally, after a soggy last couple of days, we're seeing some better weather for you folks. But now, if you live around the Four Corners area, let's say Phoenix, you're seeing a few showers and even a few thunderstorms out there tonight. And look at this, white on the maps again. Snowfall here in the Rockies, up around Aspen. We're seeing some snow tonight. A few showers around Denver, too. The front is east of the area. What we're seeing happening, though, is we have a lot of cold air in the upper levels of the atmosphere, the mid-levels there, over an area where temperatures in some cases got in the 60s and 70s. So a little destabilization in the afternoon, showers erupted, and plus we have that upper level trough over the region. So put that all together, and this is what we get. Even a few thunderstorms out there tonight to contend with, just southeast of Denver, too. Actually, southeast of Pueblo. Looks like they're starting to die down a little bit, just like we'll see most of these storms. As the evening wears on, we lose that daytime heating, so we'll lose our thunderstorm threat, and we'll see these showers tapering off. Phoenix, a few storms rolling through right now. If you live in Mesa, you're probably getting a little bit of rainfall out there tonight. Tucson, looks like most storms are off to your north, and they are heading off to the north, so probably maybe the northern suburbs seeing a few showers out there tonight. 70 currently in Phoenix, 64 in Albuquerque. Cool readings in the mountains today. 50s right now in Salt Lake City. And in the mountains, we're seeing the snowfall here. So good news if you still have some ski plans this week. But you know what? This pattern is not going to change too much, so we're going to keep it kind of cloudy in the mountains. Saturday, here's our trough. And by Sunday, it doesn't really move very much. So expect the same kind of weather you're seeing today for tomorrow. The West Coast, it's going to be great underneath our ridge. Now for a more detailed look at the severe weather threat and our forecast, here's Paul.
All right, Kim, let's have a look at what will be happening as we move on into our Sunday with this severe weather threat. Moisture being pulled in, low pressure. Think of it as kind of a spinning moisture magnet. It's doing a good job, way too efficient of pulling moisture in. Upper level winds, we have to have that too. We have to have lift, moisture, instability. You see the moisture, we have instability. We've got the front to provide lift, and the upper levels are continuing to kick it up quite a bit. When you have it that strong, it does make for a severe scenario. That's what we have tonight. As things move onward, look on toward the mid-Atlantic for the threat to be somewhat lessened. That could be good news. Problem is, into Texas, the threat increases as we see a new severe threat popping up in the Lone Star State. Looks like things could be potentially stormy moving into our day, including around Dallas. Let's move on now and have a look at what's happening with overnight low temperatures. Again, ahead of the front, things are pretty warm. You have a warm air mass, lots of moisture in it, high dew points, a lot of low-level moisture. That means you can't cool it off too fast. When it's that wet, it just can't cool off too fast. Behind it, though, a little cooler air behind the cold front makes for some snow in the four corners. Think about that. All right, as we kick through the morning, there's the high pressure, spinning, clockwise motion, low pressure, counterclockwise motion, pulling it in. We also have the front as a focusing mechanism for some of the showers. So Detroit, the rain we have around tonight, going to deal with it again. On Royal Oak, it stays pretty wet, even toward Indianapolis. Out around Carmel or even towards Southfield, we'll keep it wet. On toward Philly and around the city, if you have plans to get out and hit the park or maybe go for a jog, could be wet. You got wet weather to contend with for New York and Boston. Even Chicagoland will keep some wet weather around various times throughout the day. As far as heaviest amounts of precipitation, maybe over 3 inches in some areas you see annotated there between now and noon. Heavy rain, too, at times around Pittsburgh. As we look at the high temperatures, well, lots of warmth across the southeastern U.S. A little cool air settling in some spots. Look at some specifics here with Boston and the city. Look, there's the rain. Into Florida, temperatures don't look too bad with some warmth and great weather around Tampa for the beach. Middle of the country looks potentially wet and maybe stormy for parts of Texas. West Coast looks great.
All right, thanks, Paul. Well, it was up and away at daybreak in Louisville, Kentucky this morning. 25,000 people cheered on more than 4 dozen high-flying contestants. The object of the 26th Annual Derby Festival Great Balloon Race was to drop a small bag of Kentucky bluegrass seed onto a giant X on the ground. The winner missed the target by only 2.5 feet.
That's a great event to go to. Been there numerous times. It's
really nice,
it's big fun.
All right.
We'll find out if maybe some rainy weather in the plains could be affecting travel plans somewhere tonight.
Stay with us for Travel Wise, coming up next.
This program was sponsored by Walmart. Always low prices, always Walmart.
I've always had a thing for the outdoors. So I jumped at the chance to help Walmart's environmental program adopt a section of the San Marcos River. Our job is to keep it clean and make sure it stays a safe place for our kids, and even their kids. But it's even more important than that, because it's not only our playground, it's also home to several endangered animals and plants. That's why Walmart's been involved with the environment for years, because we live here too. And we believe good works.
There's nothing like the feeling of a new car. protectant. It shines, it protects. It's new car juice.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
It's time to get travel-wise. What do I mean by that? Well, travel-wise, you know, because a little wisdom's a dangerous thing, so we unload lots of it here. We help you plan things out. We'll help plan the rest of the weekend coming up in the Weekend Outlook next, but right now, let's think about flying. Do a little flying for the weekend? Well, no problem right now as far as reported flight delays. LAX okay. Around St. Louis, not reporting delays. The Northeast, things are not really expected to be too problematic right now, but wet weather on the way for the day Sunday might cause some problems. We'll keep you on top of it here at the Weather Channel. Okay, there's a look at the current mess, and the biggest of the messes is right here in the center of the country. Some showers popping up around Cincinnati, around Columbus, around Worthington, on toward Detroit tonight. Not bad in the Northeast. Four Corners, a bit of snow even, but the stormy spot is right here. High pressure spinning around, kicking up some moisture. Low pressure dragging it in. That keeps the storms popping with a pretty ripe situation for severe weather. Where you see the yellow shading there, you can look at the legend here and see that means severe thunderstorm watch, means watch out for severe thunderstorms. Red shading into portions of Missouri and on into Iowa. Tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable for tornadoes in and close to this watch area. Pretty stormy night. You want to portions of Iowa and on to Missouri. That's why that is our travel trouble spot again for the risk of severe weather in the red, including Kansas City. Might even see some strong storms around St. Louis. Just some sprinkles now popping up around Belleville. There you see the Four Corners wetness in the Northeast, a little wet too. Potentially moving into the day, we'll see some showers kicking in. Albany, around the city too. If you're out there, you're going to deal with that. Around Boston looks wet. Even D.C. could be a bit wet. As long as Detroit stays wet there too, it's staying pretty wet. 75, well, no problems driving that toward Atlanta or toward Birmingham, it's fine. But stormy into parts of Texas, driving 20 or 10. Could be a little bit wet. Chicago stays a bit showery throughout the day. St. Louis will too. West Coast, driving I-5, no problems. You're going to deal with all kinds of sunshine. Congratulations. We'll look at the rest of the weekend and make those plans next.
How is your weekend weather looking? The Weekend Outlook just ahead.
Hello?
Morning, Daddy.
Hi, honey.
Ready for your presentation?
Actually, Daddy's a little nervous.
We know just what you need.
Room service? You ordered me room service?
2 scoops ahead. You're gonna be 2 scoops ahead.
Nothing prepares you for a big day like the hearty goodness of 2 scoops, only from Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Ready now, Daddy?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran will start you 2 scoops ahead.
Preen's been keeping my flowers and garden weed-free and beautiful for years. Now they have Preen that'll do the same for my ground covers, which frees up Bob to concentrate on the lawn.
Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with new Preen for ground covers.
2 different worlds. A paper world, a digital world. Worlds that didn't always work together. Until now. The Xerox Document Center. The digital copier printer with so many possibilities, we put it in a video. The Document Center talks to any computer on your network. Stay at your desk and have it print, copy, collate, staple, even fax without getting up. Let the Document Center know what to do, and it shows you everything is fine. You can scan a page and see it on your screen. Now make a change, email it to George. Then on to Sally, who prints it out. Your free video also shows how the Xerox Document Center has built-in internet access, so it responds to a print or fax command from anywhere in the world. And since it's modular and upgradable, you only buy what you need. Call for your free video now. What's digital? What's paper? What's the difference?
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? That's what we take care of here at the Weather Channel, to look at active weather, and we'll do that in moments, and how storms could be affecting your night and your day with Storm Watch next. But let's plan out the day for the most part. If you want a day outside, the warmth is great. L.A., around San Diego, maybe you're heading out toward Imperial Beach. Around San Francisco, phenomenal, even towards Sausalito. Around outside there hanging out, fine. Southeast temperatures are pretty warm. It stays pretty nice, but the big storms will be in the middle. Stormy for Dallas? Yeah, could be. Even towards Chicago, it stays pretty wet around Downers Grove and at around Grant Park. You're not going to see the best day out there. Detroit, Southfield, Cleveland, even New York City and Boston stay potentially wet. The wind will really kick in the middle of the country. I mean, it's really going to kick with maybe some 25-mile-per-hour winds or greater at times. Could be pretty windy here into some of the central sections of the U.S. As we look on toward what's coming next, well, we're going to deal with some stormy stuff across the country and look at the severe thunderstorm watch and the tornado watch still in effect. We'll cover all this next in Storm Watch. Please stay tuned for that.
There are hundreds of lawnmowers to choose from, with a broad range of quality features designed to meet your needs. But the ones that have the edge to do the job right have one feature in common: a powerful, high-performance Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton, the power in power equipment.
You like the way you feel when you get what you need to do what you do well.
Take care of your vehicle and it'll take care of you by holding more value at resale or trade-in time than a vehicle that's been neglected. Be sure to keep up the maintenance logbook that comes with your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln and give your vehicle quality care.
At your service, quality care.
Quality Care Service from Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station. At the Weather Channel, we get the latest weather information from satellites in outer space, but you only need to go as far as cyberspace. Go to weather.com.
You know, racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit, and for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet? S&S Tire, the tire store you can trust.
A satellite dish. Just what you've always wanted. But once you find out you could pay over $100 for installation and pay for monthly programming, and you can't watch different channels on different TV sets at the same time unless you pay a lot more, and you might not get your favorite local news and sports, well, by then you realize you're better off with cable. Everything you want at a fraction of the cost, right through the cable you've already got.
Now your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
One storm system across the central U.S. causing some problems out there tonight. Thunderstorms, even some large hail being reported with these storms, and heavy rainfall. On the Four Corners region, showers and thunderstorms out there tonight. No severe weather expected here. And then through the Ohio Valley, some rain coming in. And eventually this rain will make it to the East Coast. So hopefully you had a chance to get out and get outside today, because tomorrow doesn't look as good here in the Northeast. The front went through. We had some cooler weather come in, but that was it. Sunshine for most areas in New York and Boston. But it's farther west where we're seeing this severe weather tonight with our cold front here. Upper level disturbance moving through the region. We actually had an outflow boundary from a few showers and storms that developed over northern Nebraska. That area that moved eastward actually acts like a mini cold front. And it actually intersected our warm front here, and this is where we think the severe weather tonight will continue as this line moves eastward. Okay, so mainly Iowa, parts of northern Missouri, and as you head farther south, the problem here, this whole area is capped. And that means that temperatures in the mid-levels of the atmosphere are too warm for thunderstorms to develop. But later on tonight, as we get some cooling in the atmosphere because we lose our sunshine, it's possible we could see a few thunderstorms develop here in Missouri. But Texas, forget it. No thunderstorms for you tonight. All right, along Interstate 44, watch out, even along Interstate 80. Now here are the watches out tonight. A tornado watch in Iowa. That's the red one. That means conditions are right for tornadoes. And if you do have a tornado warning out there, the best thing to do is get to the lowest level of your house, to an interior room, and get away from any kind of windows and cover your head if possible. If you're outdoors, you should try to seek shelter immediately. If you cannot do that, you should just try to get to a ditch or any kind of incline or something, then cover your head. But tonight we have not seen any tornado warnings from this watch area, but conditions are right out there, and we're still seeing thunderstorms put down large hail, and that could be very dangerous too. We've had many reports of golf ball size hail and also of ping pong ball size hail out there tonight from Nebraska in through Iowa, Sac County for instance, golf ball size hail, and heavy rain out there tonight. Now here it is along our warm front here. Actually, we had a few supercells merge in this area, Monona County. We had 2 to 3 inches of rain come down, so that is another big threat. Flash flooding out there, very heavy rainfall with these storms, and they're starting to move out a little bit, so folks in Monona County, maybe it looks like the conditions should be improving there for you. And Des Moines, a lot better too for you as these storms move off to the east. But as these storms move through, a lot of areas got hit with some large hail. So folks in Cedar Rapids, you should just be ready for that as these storms move eastward and off towards the northeast. Okay, now this line extends even farther south into Kansas tonight. Kansas City, hey, this is all past you at this point. No problems here if you live in Nevada or Chinook, Kansas. A few thunderstorms out there firing up. And look at the storms firing up here in Oklahoma. Now we'll watch this area for a possible